Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Global Education and Content Specialist for Earle, and today I am joined by James Wong. Hello.
Hey there, good to be here. Looking forward to geeking out about plants.
Thank you so much. It's so great to have you here. So we are going to soak up all of your knowledge and we are going to tell you everything there is to know about our latest MPD, Microdermabrasion skin polish, because the botanicals inside this product aren't just there to look good and smell nice, are they, James?
See, this is the tricky thing. I think plants just look too good, they can smell too good, they can taste too good, so it's really easy to dismiss them as just having aesthetic benefits, like they're just there to be sensorial. And if you want something that really works, that can really deliver results and be effective, you have to go down the synthetic route. However, that separation in our minds that we can sometimes have is a cultural one. It isn't a scientific one. And as a plant scientist and ethnobotanist, my job is to really look at human plant use to find clues for compounds out there in the botanical kingdom that can really have a profound effect on human biology, including in skincare.
Amazing. And that's what we really want to take from today. So as advisors, we want you to soak up James's knowledge today as you explain how the botanicals have this credibility, and they are just as powerful as anything else out there that could be synthetic. And we want you to share that with your customers to get them to believe in the power of the botanicals as well. Okay, so before we get into anything about the botanicals, I just want to talk about the fact that this product is esthetician approved, which is a first for us at Earle and super exciting.
So what is an esthetician? Is that how you say it? Sorry, botanist.
Yeah, no, you've got it, that's it. It's an esthetician. So an esthetician is a skincare professional that works in a professional skin clinic or salon, and their job is to improve the texture, well, the skin overall, above and below the surface. So they'll use professional machines, more like facial machines, alongside a sort of a more salon medical grade product as well. So the esthetician that we worked with one, and they were able to prove that the results that you can see from our new Microdermabrasion skin polish is that of the results that you would get if you went to go and have a microdermabrasion in a salon. So a microdermabrasion in a salon could cost you anywhere up to £100 or even above, depending on where you go. Ours is £30, so you're really getting that whole salon experience in one bottle. So a no-brainer to use ours.
And the ability to create a formula to do that at home was so tricky. But explain to me what microdermabrasion is. Walk me through the whole process, because I know what it is, but I've never actually had one done, and the whole idea just fills me with fear. What would they do to me?
Nothing too scary at all. But I think, yeah, long, complicated name, and if you've never heard of it, it just sounds probably a little bit overwhelming. But a microdermabrasion is basically it's carried out by a machine, and there's two types. So I'll explain both, and I think our product really relates stronger to the latter. So the first one is traditional microdermabrasion, and it's you've got this kind of like hoover basically that's going over the surface of the skin in lines, and it's stripping away any of the dead skin cells that are lying on the skin surface that can dull the skin's appearance. Yep. And as it's doing that, it's also taking off any of the surface oil as well. However, it can leave your skin feeling quite tight and dry, and that's because it's going to strip away the skin's natural oils whilst lifting the dead skin cells off. So then there's also hydro microdermabrasion, which does exactly the same thing, but as the skin is being polished, the hydro part of the treatment is pumping hydration into the skin to avoid that tight, dry feeling after treatment. And when we discover more about our ingredients later on, it will become clear that this is the version of what our microdermabrasion skin polish is based on.
You know, having heard all of that, I think I might stick to our own formulation at home. But what I really want to talk about is the plants. What botanical ingredients are in this product and why? Because once I can understand the function, the performance of a product, I can go finding plants which will deliver those results.
Absolutely, and so on the screen now is what you can see is the 3D model of the skin, and this is skin in its sort of optimum, it's its prime, it's the dream skin that we all want. So it's a lovely even surface of the skin, no lines and wrinkles, it's lovely plump and hydrated, no sun damage. I mean, really what we're all after. The dream skin.
So everyone wants that ideal type of skin, but depending on who you are, your background or ethnicity, the problems that you can experience in getting that can be quite different.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know from our skin school knowledge that we've delivered to all of our advisors is that aging happens differently for everyone. So from about our early 20s, our cell turnover really starts to deplete in more of a Caucasian skin tone. But then it's not until sort of like 30s for a Caucasian skin that we start to see the formation of lines and wrinkles on the skin surface. But in Asian and black skin tones, we know that this happens a lot later. So they hold on to the fibrillin in the dermis of the skin. And so they probably start seeing the signs of aging with just areas of pigmentation appearing on the skin surface. And then from there, it's not until their 50s that they might start seeing more of those lines and wrinkles. So it sort of happens a lot later, although it still happens. But what we want to know, what I want to ask you really, is the ingredients inside microdermabrasion do support all skin tones and types throughout the ages.
Yeah, absolutely. The goal is really similar, and the botanical ingredients have really targeted very similar things to help individual customers at that time of need. The only goal that the advisor needs to do is to really establish that. So we've developed this intentionally to be suitable for all skin types and tones.
Amazing. And our advisors they'll lead with that when we're asking those questions to our customers about their skin's behaviour. So over to you, James. Tell us everything.
Okay, well, I've got a secret that I've stashed here. So this is straight from the lab. When we create stuff, we use these generic white tubes. The packaging hasn't even been designed yet. So you're one of the first to see it. Let me give you a little bit of it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I'm eager.
I'm going to add a tiny bit. Ooh, got a little bit a lot there, but...
First thing I notice is the smell.
So we have added neroli, which is found throughout the Super Skin range.
Okay.
And that's essentially the blossoms of bitter orange tree, so light, fresh, and uplifting. And then the second thing you probably notice, at least when you start rubbing it in, is you start to notice it's invisible to see it, but you could feel a slight grainy texture.
Yeah.
And what that is powdered pumice. It's a volcanic rock that's incredibly soft. It's filled with little air pockets, and we've ground it down incredibly fine. So it works as a physical way to remove any of the dull and dead skin cells that are on the surface, any debris. But because it's so fine, it really gets into all the nooks and crannies and doesn't create redness, irritation. There's not a big particle that's going to create a red scratch over the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can feel it, exactly like you say, you can't really see it. And I think so that is the physical exfoliation.
Yes.
And it does feel, and I guess it is working to be, so much more intense than any of our other exfoliators that we've got in the range. Yes. And that's kind of one of the key things that sets it apart, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-in-1. So we know that this is one part.
That's stage 1. This is stage 2, right? Okay. So the next thing that's going to happen, and this you can't feel, but is actually having a function. So we have a collection of different alpha hydroxy acids, AHAs. Yep. And these are natural acids that are found in things like fruits. So if you've had an orange or a lemon and you notice acidity or sourness, that's what they are. So the citric acid that's in both of those two. Yeah. And in fact, those are 2 of our 5 fruits. So orange, lemon, bilberry. We've also got sugarcane extract and sugar maple extract, all of which contain slightly different acids, but what they all do is help eat away at the protein bonds that are on the surface of these dead skin cells, allowing them to come off more easily, so you have to add less physical abrasion. If you combine physical and chemical, and I say chemical, but it's a natural compound, they're not synthetic compounds, they work together a bit easier. So you have to add less harsh, large particle sizes if you do this. So it's 2 different steps.
That's so great. And so we've got the chemical, we've got the physical. So we've been saying as well that it's kind of like 3 steps. So you buff it, which comes from the powdered pumice. Yes. You mask it, so you get the fruit enzymes to work. And then we've also got protect it, which I guess we'll come on to.
Well, I'll tell you now. I think that really what sets this formulation apart from so many others is that we're not trying to do traditional microdermabrasion. We're not trying to mimic that because that can create a stripping of the surface of the skin, as you say. So we want to replace those natural oils with things that are found in nature. And I think, to me at least, one of the most interesting ones is rose hip seed oil. It's found throughout the range. We source it sustainably from the wild in southern Africa. And we work with a team, like a cooperative of local women who do that. And when I say we do this sustainably and ethically, it isn't just that we're paying them far above market rate. We also do things like provide creche systems. It's a whole 360-degree approach to make sure that we're sourcing things not only sustainably, but socially ethically as well.
And that's amazing. And I think, those bits of detail, they're the key things that we really want you to share with your customers, because they set us apart, don't they, in terms of our competitors and other brands that, use natural ingredients. We do, but we've also got the responsibly sourced bit. So it goes back to the very beginning of how we're getting those ingredients.
Now, when it comes to moisturizing agents, rosehip oil is great because it's really light in texture, but because of the mechanical removal of the dead skin cells on the surface of the skin, I think we also needed something that was really rich. And we've picked shea butter for that. It's also an oil, but it's solid at room temperature. That's why we call it a butter. And it's just incredibly moisturizing. And what I think is fascinating about shea butter is it really kind of gives you the best of both worlds when it comes to sustainability. Because often when we talk about agriculture, we're talking about taking areas of land that were once covered in forest, cutting that down and planting a crop in its place. Shea butter is wild harvested. Now, shea nuts naturally fall to the ground where they're sustainably collected by local women, who again we work with in that really fair and equitable way. And not only does that benefit women in an area of the world where usually finance is not controlled by women, it's the one form of income they can get hold of, it actually gives people an economic incentive not to cut down trees in a really arid part of the world and to protect this local ecosystem. So it's really the perfect combination of different factors. And when I talk about our ethical trading policies, I'm not just talking about the amount we're paying for these nuts. We actually invest in the long-term security of this because it's better for our partners, but it's also better for us. So we'll do things like invest in storage facilities where previously there were really none or not very reliable ones, to ensure that once the women have harvested these nuts, they're not going to go off and they're going to have wasted time in that production process. This is really benefiting them, and we've become accredited as part of the Global Shea Alliance.
And the Global Shea Alliance is one that we know most about, really. It's more widely known. We've got lots of information of it that we share with our customers online, so really want to shout about in stores as well. And that ingredient is an ingredient that runs across a lot of our other products, so really great to link Cell with that as well.
It's really great to have that independent accreditation, so our customers don't just have to take our word for it. We can show our working out and prove that's what we really genuinely are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're always a big fan of, with our advisors, wanting them to sort of, celebrate these stories and letting our customers do a bit of exploring after they've been in store with us. So head online, head over to our Instagram channels and have a little bit more of like a further dig around the things that we're telling them in store as well, just to really credit that, I guess.
The whole formula behind Microdermabrasion skin polish has taken us ages to put together. It's been so much work, but it is remarkably effective. Its benefits have been backed by science, and you can really see that the second you start using it. So I'm just so excited to finally get this product out there and to have the teams try it out.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be really exciting. It's a really great extension to our Super Skin range. It's been missing, so we've got that complete now, 360 for the Super Skin range. Thank you so much, James. We love a botanical deep dive with you to soak up your knowledge, and it's even more powerful when we hear the science behind them too. We hope you've enjoyed learning how microdermabrasion works in more detail and are feeling really ready to put this knowledge into power and build those super skin baskets.